Walking through a hall of doors, looking through a million portals. Everybody's having fun, everybody seems immortal, and you don't know where you stand. Did something pass you by? And if you are dismissed, you get another try.
The title, Invisible Empires, comes from a line in the song Obsolete, where the song is really about people who find themselves sort of on the outside, the periphery of our, technological explosion and all the social media and all that. That's kind of what the song's about, but it's really in a larger sense about this feeling of being left out.
The way is slow, and we've so far to go. Keep your eyes on the prize.
This record was unique in that it was born out of my first real writer's block. I have never experienced writer's block before, and the 9 months leading up to starting writing for this record, I just couldn't write anything. I would go into the piano, and for a lot of reasons, I just I didn't have any ideas, didn't have confidence in my ideas. And I remember talking to Troy, and he was saying, you've got to just write. You're afraid to talk about what's going on in your heart right now, and you need to write from where you are. A lot of times when I'm working on a record, I don't work on it thematically on purpose, but I tend to have a sort of a field of ideas, and as I really think about what I'm going to write about, they begin to orbit around a central idea, and that happens with every record. And so a lot of times I'm trying to figure out what is this idea orbiting around. And this record in particular, I was writing about something I'd read in Eugene Peterson's Long Obedience in the Same Direction. I try to read that book every year. I feel like it's a really great blueprint for the walk. I just love this idea. He equated the work of man as kind of like working like the devil, work your fingers to the bone, this frenetic activity that kind of doesn't have any life to it, versus the work of God, and he compares that to a pregnancy. And having had 3 children, I think what an incredible image of how God works in our lives, because you're working, you're building this child, but you actually aren't doing anything. You're going to sleep, you're eating the right food, you're going through your day, and yet you're taking part of this incredible work. And in my experience, all the really significant things that have happened in my marriage and in my work and my friendships, they've come about that way. I couldn't worry a single hair in place, I couldn't worry a fingernail in place. And so this record is about the difference between man's frenetic work and God's faithful, patient, eternal work.
Oh, it's a miracle, it's a miracle.
Probably the question I've gotten most over the years is about balance. How do I balance my life as a mom and a songwriter and being on the road? And definitely the answer to that question is I'm not by myself. I get a lot of support. I do this set of things that end up being on stage, but there are a lot of people doing other things, including my husband, who does pretty much everything but write songs and sing them on stage. He really sets me free to be a wife and a mom and a musician, and he has been my manager from the very beginning, and I would never be able to do this without him. I would not have gotten started in the first place without him.
Open my hands, open my heart.
The heart of this record is to call into question the frenetic pace of life, and I've used that word a lot, the word frenetic, but honestly, that's just how I feel. I feel like the pace of life is doubling. It's just folding back over on itself until it's such an unreasonable expectation of a way to live. If I had a bracelet, some people say WWJD, I've always loved Laura Ingalls Wilder and thought, life pre-phone, life pre-technology and all these things. What would Laura Ingalls Wilder do? What would Caroline do? Just because there's such an unrealistic, I think, unrealistic expectation of availability and of information exchange and things like this. You can read all the statistics about what that does to your brain, but I don't need to, I feel it in my daily life that I want to be present for things. I want to be present for people. And so I hope the record reassures people who feel like I feel this freneticness. There's a different way to live. There's a way to not just do more, but to ask more about ask God more about what we're doing. And to come with our days and say, all right, how can I really connect with people? How can I really be a part of building things that last, that are part of your kingdom in meaningful ways? And not just be running from the minute I wake up till the minute I go to bed, trying to sort of meet this expectation that I think is out there. So yeah, I hope there's some quiet and reassurance in this record that God has something for us to do, and it's going to be quiet and beautiful, and I want to be about those things.